Hello class of SCLA 10100, Transformative Text, Critical Thinking and Communications 1, Antiquity to Modernity. My name is Larry Dean King, and I am a student at Purdue University of West Lafayette, Indiana. For my research project, I wanted to explore Marco Polo's visit to the Forbidden City. For our Week 7 writing prompt, we were asked whether or not we believed if Marco Polo actually traveled to China. This question really intrigued me. So I did a little bit of research for this question, and what I found surprised me. And now I would like to share with you what I have found while answering that question. I will explain that in his book, Marco Polo the Travels, Marco gives a very accurate description of the Forbidden City in Beijing, China, with details that are still very much visible today. Marco Polo was born in the year 1254 and died in 1324. He was one of the most traveled individuals in all of recorded history. In 1271, he joined his father Niccolo and his uncle Maffeo on their second visit to China, where he spent some time in the service of Kublai Khan. According to the Biographics YouTube video titled Kublai Khan, China's Mongol Emperor, in 1275, Niccolo, Maffeo, and Marco arrived at Kublai Khan's Grand Marble Palace. And according to another Biographics YouTube video titled Marco Polo, the World's Greatest Explorer, the Polos were treated as esteemed guests at his palace in Khan Beylik. Kublai Khan wanted to see the three Polos because he had never met any Europeans. Kublai Khan was impressed by their ability to read and write in many different languages. He believed that they could be useful to him in gathering information about the many places that they visited while they were working as merchants. In Chapter 3 of Marco Polo the Travels titled Kublai Khan, there is a section in which Marco Polo describes the palace of the Great Khan. During the months of December, January, and February, the Great Khan lives in the capital city of Cathay, whose name is Khan Beylik. Now, you will need to open your favorite internet browser and go to an online map, such as the ones used by Google or Microsoft Bing. Type in Beijing, China. Set it to satellite view and look for the Forbidden City. In doing this, you can see for yourself as you read along with the book. I will now describe what Marco Polo wrote about this great palace city. At each of the corners of the wall stands a large palace of great beauty and splendor, in which the Great Khan kept his military stores. These towers look like palaces in each of the four corners. In the southern front of the wall, there are 5 gates. There is one great gate in the middle, which is never opened except when the Great Khan is leaving or entering. Next to this, one on either side, are 2 small gates by which everyone else enters. There are also 2 more large gates, one near each corner, which are likewise used by other people. Within the outer wall is an inner wall, greater in length than it is in width. There are 8 palaces along this wall used to store military supplies. It also has 5 gates in its southern front corresponding to the outer wall. There is also a gate next to the corners, just like the outer wall. The main palace has no upper floor, and the basement on which it stands rises 10 palms above the surrounding earth. In the rear of the palace are extensive apartments, both chambers and halls, in which are kept the private possessions of the Great Khan. Here is stored his treasures, gold and silver, precious stones and pearls, and his gold and silver vessels. And here too are his ladies and his concubines. In these apartments, everything is arranged for his comfort and convenience, and outsiders are not permitted. Marco Polo talked about the lush parklands with stately trees between the inner and outer walls. Grass grows abundantly because of how the drainage system does not let standing water collect, and it feeds the lawns. This method enriches the soil and promotes healthy growth. The herbage fed a wide variety of game, such as squirrels, musk deer, roebuck, and stags. In the northwest corner of the grounds is a pit of great size and depth, very neatly made, from which the earth was removed to build the mound. The pit is filled with water by a fair-sized stream to form a pond where the animals come to drink. The stream flows out through an aqueduct near the mound and fills a similar pit. These ponds contain a great variety of fish that the Great Khan has stocked. On the northern side of the palace, at a distance of a bow shot, the Great Khan has made an earthwork, a mound 100 paces in height and over a mile in circumference. This mound is covered with a dense growth of trees, all evergreens. Whenever the Great Khan heard of a particularly fine tree, he had it pulled up by the roots and with some of the original soil, and transported it by elephants to this mound to be transplanted. These are some of the finest trees in the world. China gives its own narrative concerning the Forbidden City. According to the PBS video titled Secrets of the Forbidden City, it was constructed by Emperor Yongle in 1420. It is my opinion that Emperor Yongle took credit for designing and building the Forbidden City. The only people that were allowed to visit this place were the very elite, thus naming it the Forbidden City. The original architects designed all of the structures to withstand very powerful earthquakes and were meant to stay standing for several hundred years. So in conclusion, I would like to say that when you are giving any historical narrative a serious look, do your own diligent research. Don't just take anybody's word as the final truth. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to me.